Peace everyone, welcome back to Giganomics, and today I want to show you something, and it separates people who own transportation businesses from people who are just driving for apps. Saturday morning, I had two different clients contact me. One was a medical supply company that needed 8 oxygen tanks picked up and delivered to a patient in Yonkers. The second was a laboratory that needed a specimen transported ASAP. Different companies, two different contracts, but the same corridor. The total payout came to roughly $195, and I'll explain the pay later. Now, before anyone asks, what app was this? There wasn't one. These were direct contracts. The oxygen tanks is a brand new route. This was my first time running them. The lab specimen, that's recurring work. But here's what I really want to teach you. The money isn't the biggest lesson. The negotiation is. See, these companies already have courier agreements in place way before I ever showed up. I didn't have to create their pricing. I just negotiated better terms for myself. And today, I'm gonna show you exactly how I approached it, where contracts like these come from, and how you can start pursuing opportunities just like this in your own city. Let's jump into it. One of the biggest misconceptions I see is that people think every delivery job comes from an app. That's not true. There's thousands of businesses across the country moving medical equipment, laboratory specimens, pharmaceuticals, and healthcare supplies every single day. These opportunities don't get posted on DoorDash, Uber Eats, Amazon Flex, or gig apps. These businesses, they hire independent transportation companies, some hire owner-operators, some hire small carrier businesses, others, they contract with larger carrier companies. The point is, there's an entire business-to-business transportation industry operate behind the scenes that most people never see. That's the side of the industry I've been encouraging people to build towards. Not because app work is bad, but because direct relationships give you something apps never will, the ability to negotiate. Here's the part I really want you to pay attention to. Need the company ask me for my terms or my agreements. They already had their own, and that's very common. Many hospitals, laboratories, medical suppliers, and healthcare organizations, they already have vendor agreements they've been using for years. A lot of new carriers see that agreement and immediately assume everything inside of it is set in stone. It's not. I didn't try to rewrite the entire contract. I focused on the areas that directly affected profitability. So weekend pricing, holiday pricing, and at the hour pricing. Those are all situations where the demand increases, but where available drivers decrease. You provide an additional value by making yourself available where many people aren't even working. Instead of asking, can you pay me more? I explain why those situations deserve different pricing. That conversation resulted in better terms without changing the entire agreement. That's a business conversation, not an emotional one. Now let's answer the question I know a lot of you are asking. Where do you find opportunities like this? For oxygen recovery routes, look for home oxygen providers, durable medical equipment companies, respiratory equipment suppliers, CCAP distributors, and hospital equipment vendors. For laboratory work, you want to look for independent laboratories, hospital outreach laboratories, and specialty diagnostic labs. These organizations, they move medical items every single day. The question isn't whether they need transportation. The question is who they trust to handle it. Waste your time calling random departments. Start with people who actually influence transportation decisions. For medical supply companies, the titles and positions you're looking for are operation managers, the branch managers, logistics coordinators, and distribution managers. For laboratories, you want to check the laboratory managers, the operation managers, courier coordinators, and practice administrators. When you speak with the decision makers, don't immediately start talking about rates. Learn their current process first. Ask thoughtful questions. Find out where they're experiencing delays, challenges, or gaps in service. Then explain how your business can solve those problems. Businesses hire solutions, not just drivers. One mistake I see constantly is people trying to negotiate every single dollar per mile. Sometimes that's appropriate, but many times the bigger opportunity is negotiating the situation that happens around the delivery. So things like weekend work, holiday coverage, after-hour requests, emergency stat service, waiting time, recurrent schedule pickups, and volume increases. Those adjustments create significantly more revenue over the life of a contract than simply arguing over mileage. Think long-term, not just trip by trip. First client was a medical supply company, still considered medical carrier work, just a different lane of it. The patients are homebound and depend on medical suppliers to get their oxygen equipment delivered, and the companies, they rely on couriers like me and you to complete those deliveries. My responsibilities were simple: deliver the oxygen tanks, follow the proper transport requirement, and get a signature confirming the delivery. No equipment setup, no installation, and no additional service inside the home. The one thing people need to understand about medical carrier work is that every client has different requirements. This company requires a specific strapping system to safely secure the tanks during transport. On this run, I didn't have my normal setup with me, so I had to adjust while still making sure the delivery was completed properly. Now, when it comes to pricing, it depends on your agreement with the company. In my case, I'm operating under a contract. This route pays me $2,620 per month, running 5 days a week. That breaks down to about $131 per day. And this is for only one pickup and one drop off per day. The second client was completely different. This was a lab run from an independent laboratory that needed a specimen picked up ASAP. The specimen was time sensitive and considered a stat run. Instead of looking at these as two separate jobs, I always look at the route, point A to point B. Both clients was operating in the same corridor, so instead of driving all over chasing random deliveries, I stacked two different clients inside the same route. That's how you increase profitability. You don't always have to drive more miles to earn more money. Plus, you learn how to make the miles you already drive produce more revenue. The lab route is a recurring client that I service 3 to 4 times per week. The normal rate for this route is $40 per stop. I get 3 to 4 of these a week. The only other ways I can earn more money on this route is either with stat runs, weekend runs, or wait fees that kicks in after the first 10 minutes. Depending on traffic, it usually takes anywhere from 1 to 2 hours to complete. This lab contract adds another $500 to $700 per month in recurring revenue, and that's without any stat runs. If you combine that with the oxygen contract, the total recurring value, $3,100 to $3,300 a month from only 2 direct contracts. This doesn't include my pharmaceutical contract, the senior living facility contract, and the one-offs, the ones who need courier service but not under contract. Today's rate was $62 because it came in as a stat run. They got me for my weekend add-on, but Monday morning, they will receive an invoice for it. Or am I being petty? It's only $20. Y'all let me know in the comments. If you're serious about building a medical carrier business, senior concierge business, or another transportation service beyond gig apps, and you would like some one-on-one guidance, I'll leave my coaching information in the description below. During our coaching sessions, we work on things like finding contract opportunities in your market, building your outreach strategy, reviewing pricing and contract terms, negotiating techniques, marketing your business, and positioning yourself to win direct business-to-business clients. Whether you just getting started or you trying to land your first contract, I help you build a plan that's specific to your city and your goals. You can check out the coaching flyer and book a session using the link in the description. And remember, this video wasn't really about making $195. It was about understanding why that $195 was even possible. It came from relationships, it came from negotiation, it came from learning how to stack compatible clients instead of chasing random deliveries all day. And that's the difference between owning routes and simply accepting routes. And as always, if you found some value in today's video, hit the like button, subscribe, and if you're new to the channel, let me know in the comments what city you in, what medical carrier niche you're interested in the most, either labs, pharmacies, medical supplies, or hospital logistics. I appreciate everyone for watching. Y'all stay safe, stay blessed, get to your hustle. Peace.